Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and today is going to be another part of my makeup stash series. So I explained in my last makeup stash, which was my foundations. I'll link that down below if you didn't see that. But basically, I'm going to be going through every single section of my makeup and going into more depth than just a regular makeup collection. And then in a few months, I will do an overview, like makeup collection storage type video. So today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my bronzer collection and my contour like products and stuff. And then in my next makeup stash, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, so make sure to leave your comments down below and let me know what you want to see in this series next. So let's just get right on into it. So I love bronzers. They're definitely one of my favorite makeup products. I just love bronzers because I am a pretty pale person. I love bronzers just to give my complexion a more, tan look. And yeah, I just really love bronzers. I don't know what it is about them because they're all like the same color, but I really like bronzers, and I do like contour products as well. So the first product here is the e.l.f. Pressed Mineral Bronzer. It looks like this. What I love about this bronzer is it's a warm bronzer. As you can tell, most of my bronzers are very warm, but this blends really nicely on the skin. It's a really good one, and I have mine in the shade Tan Toffee. Super creamy as well. There, it's very pigmented. If you can still get your hands on this, I highly recommend it because it's very inexpensive, like $3 or something like that. But I know they're discontinuing this line, so if you can still get your hands on it, get it, pick it up, because these are really great bronzers. Next bronzer I have here is actually my all-time favorite bronzer. Out of every bronzer I own, this is my absolute favorite. This is the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzing Face Powder in the shade Sunny. And as you guys can see here, I have hit pan on this bronzer. I've used it a ton. I'm not wearing this bronzer today, but this is my absolute favorite bronzer. I just love how it blends. It's a little less pigmented than any other typical bronzer, but I kind of like that. It's right here because it's so easy to blend out, and it actually shows up on the skin even though it doesn't swatch that well. It's super nice and blendable on the skin, and it's my favorite, and it's really inexpensive. It's like $3, so I highly recommend checking this bronzer out. Powder, I don't like this as much as the NYC Smooth Skin, but this is really nice when you want more of a radiant bronze, like a sun-kissed glow, so you still got that bronze, but just a little more of a sheen. This is a bronzer with a sheen. It's not matte. I typically like matte bronzers, and the Smooth Skin is matte. That's why I love it, but this one is nice when I want a more radiant look to my skin. It's a great one as well, and it's really inexpensive. Next, we've got some Physicians Formula bronzers, and I think Physicians Formula makes absolutely amazing bronzers. The first one I have here is the Bronze Booster, and look at this packaging, guys. Isn't this gorgeous? But this bronzer is the bronzer I'm wearing today. I don't have very much on, actually. Here, I'll put a bit more on for you guys. I love the tone of it, and it's just an all-around really nice bronzer. Super similar in my eyes to the NYC one. This one is just less matte. It doesn't have a sheen or anything, but not as matte as the NYC one, and this is just a little more creamy to the touch, but they both blend out really nicely, so I like both of them a lot. I've got another Physicians Formula bronzer, and this is the Butter Bronzer. This has to be my second favorite all-time bronzer. I love this. It's more of a neutral tone bronzer. It's not as warm as some of the other bronzers I shared with you guys. Definitely more neutral tone. This is the most buttery bronzer formula I've ever used. It is so buttery. It's amazing. It's very light, as you can see here, compared to some of the other bronzers I have, but on the skin it still shows up on me because I'm fair and stuff. And this is in the shade Bronzer, so I'm pretty sure they have a dark bronzer, so maybe you can get that if you're any deeper than me, because this probably won't show up on you. But it's a nice neutral tone bronzer. If there's any days where I don't want a really warm bronzer, I use this, and I just love the tone of this and how it blends it on the skin, how creamy it is, and it's just all around amazing bronzer, and it smells like pina coladas, so just amazing. And yeah, second favorite all-time bronzer right here. Next, I have the Rimmel Natural Bronzer in the shade Sun Bronze. This is what this looks like. I like these. They're super pigmented. They blend out nicely. The only issue I have with them, or this shade I guess in the particular, even though it's not a lot warmer than any of the other ones, on the skin it shows up a lot warmer. I just don't tend to reach for this one. It's a really, really great bronzer. I just like reach for my NYC and Physicians Formula bronzers a lot more than this one. Okay, I have this right here. This is from Mariposa, and this is actually a face powder, but I got mine in the shade 4, so it is like a bronzer, I guess. I have only used this once, and it's super dark for me. Like, even if I use the lightest of a hand, let me just show you right here. It's so dark. It's right here. It's super, super dark, and this is how dark it shows up on my skin, so I can't really use this much, but I love the formula. It's super creamy, so yeah, I don't really use this that much because it's just way too dark for me, and even in the summer, it's way too dark. Okay, I have a cream bronzer, and this is from Sonia Kashuk. This is it right here. I've used this quite a couple times, and I really, really like it. My favorite way to apply it is with a stipple brush. I just stipple this in here and then apply it right here and just kind of stipple it onto my face and then blend it out in a buffing motion. And I love the tone of this. I have mine in the shade 41. Can we just talk about this packaging though? It's so beautiful. This blends out really nicely. It has a really nice tone to it. It's just overall a really nice bronzer. It swatches super warm, but it's not like this on the skin. It's it shows up more neutral on the skin, but it swatches pretty warm. But it's a really, really nice cream bronzer. If you're looking for a cream bronzer, I highly recommend this Sonia Kashuk Warm Tan cream bronzer. Next, I've got the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. This looks super light in the pan, right? But I've only used this once, and I actually really like the tone of it. I don't even know where to swatch anymore. It's right here. So as you can see, it's really light on the skin, but if you're fair like me, this will be a really nice just all over bronzing powder. It does have a sheen and a slight shimmer to it, as you could probably not tell, but it's very slight, and it just adds a really nice look to the skin if I don't want to do intense bronzing that day. So, and it's really inexpensive, so yeah. And then the last like bronzer I have is the e.l.f. contouring and blush combo thingy. I don't use the blush, I don't like it, so I just include it in my bronzers because this is the shade I use, and this is a super, like, it shows up super dark on the face. It doesn't swatch very dark, but on the face it is darker than what it swatches like. I hear people raving about this bronzer, and I just don't love it. It's really hard and scratchy in my opinion. I like a creamier bronzer that blends out easier. So this is not my favorite. I don't reach for it that much. I just don't see where the hype comes from in this. So yeah, and this is in the shade St. Lucia. Not my favorite bronzer, and I just don't understand why people constantly are raving about it. Let me know down below if I don't know, if you use it a certain way and you love it and it works better for you that way. So let's move on to my contouring powders now. First, I've got some contour palettes from Wet n Wild. This is, the first one I have is in the shade Dulce de Leche, and this is my all-time favorite contour little duo ever. This is this is one of the most creamy contour powders I've ever tried. You can see those right there. And they are just so amazing. They blend out on the skin super nicely. I love the tone of this one. Again, this is in the shade Dulce de Leche. It's super inexpensive. Sometimes I throw this under my eyes, but usually I just reach for the contour shade. But one of the best contour palettes I've ever tried, and it's like under $5, so highly recommend. And then I also have it in the other shade, which is Caremal Toffee. I don't use this just because it is too dark for me, and I just like to use Dulce de Leche, but I love how they came out with two little shades. Some people say that they should come out with a palette and kind of combine these four, because lots of people love this banana shade right here. I don't like banana shades on me. I'm too fair for that, so, but if you like it, this is a great one to try out because the formula is on point. We've got some contour palettes from e.l.f. This palette right here was my very first contour palette, and this is the e.l.f. contour palette. I remember when they came out with this, I went on the website and ordered it right away. And as you guys can see, I used it, like, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I use it quite a ton. Love the mirrors on these e.l.f. palettes. They're so big and so nice to do your makeup with. I really liked this shade right here to contour with. It was cool enough for me to contour, but not too dark. And it was just an overall nice palette. The only shade I didn't enjoy was this because it's just sparkly and weird and shimmery and not a fan. But this contour shade right here was so nice. Blended out beautifully. And then recently, this summer, I bought the e.l.f. cream contour palette, and I have not used it that much lately. But I've only used it like once. It blends out really nicely. I don't have a set opinion on it yet. But the only shade I can really use is this shade right here to contour with. That's it, right there. And then this like light shade right here to highlight with. But I don't know, they blend out nicely from what I can tell, but I haven't really used it enough to have a set opinion on it. So let me know how you feel about this down below if you've tried it. Okay, I have two more palettes and then I'm done. The first one is the Revolution Makeup Revolution Contour Palette. I bought this at Ulta when I went to the States. I love this palette so far. I've used this shade to contour a ton, and it's just the most gorgeous contour shade ever. It's super light, so it's great if you have fair skin. But it just contours, it's right here. It just is the perfect, has enough gray tones in it to contour. And the highlight shades blend out really nicely. These are all super finely milled powders, so they blend out beautifully. The only shades I don't like are these two because they're just shimmery and weird. But the rest of them are super, super nice. And they blend out beautifully and are pigmented. The packaging is gorgeous. And the last contour palette I have is the NYX Highlight and Contour Palette. I've only used this a couple times, and again I reached for this cool tone shade right here to contour with, and it's very similar to that Revolution palette shade. As you can see, these two right here are very similar. I do like the Revolution palette more. I feel like the colors just blend out nicer. These colors are they kind of skip on me. They're a little patchy, but I haven't used enough to fully get an opinion on it. I haven't used the highlight shades yet. But let me know if you like this palette or not. And I might do a like battle of the contour palettes or something, because these have almost the exact same shades and they're super similar in price. So let me know if you want to see that video. Okay, so that is it for my bronzer and contour palette collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to let me know what category you'd like to see of my makeup stash next. If you want to see blushes, highlights, eyeshadow palettes, whatever you want to see, let me know. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!